I wanted to do something a little bit different with this video for Action Media Reviews. The focus here is going to be uh, collecting tips if you're just getting into toy and action figure collecting or community building or networking. I want to talk about how to build a strong network and a strong community. So a lot of people they seem to jump into the whole world of toy collecting as just going it alone, or they for some reason have it in their mind that everyone should just automatically hook them up with hard to get items and not make any money off of it or whatever, no profit. I don't want to dive too much into that, but that's actually one of the driving forces behind this video. I see a lot of people who automatically think that strangers are just going to hook them up. And unfortunately, that's not the world that we live in. It would be wonderful if it was, but it's just not the fact of collecting, the collector community. Much like many other collecting or hobby communities, it's always best to go into it and build a network of friends, build a group or a community of people who are in it for the camaraderie, who aren't just in it to make a buck or just in it to obtain these things that they want. Of course, it's always nice to get hooked up on something like this. This set goes for a decent amount of money, as well as a lot of the classified figures back here. I have several of the exclusive figures for my collection. I did this by making friends with people, whether it be people that I met in person along the way or friends that I made online and then later on met in person. It really, really helps out whenever you have people who they have a reason to want to help each other out. One of the things that I can relate this to is the music world. I've been involved in music for about 20 years. And whenever I first started playing in a band, you didn't just get handed shows. You weren't just invited to play shows because you were in a band. You didn't get to play with big name national acts just because you were in a band. You had to get out there, network, get to know people, make friends with people. And when you did that, if someone was putting together a show, or if you were putting together a show, the people that you know are the first ones on your mind. The people that you're friends with or that you're cool with were the first ones on your mind to have play those shows. I've booked countless shows and I've played countless more. I've played with big touring bands and small bands that nobody knew their name. And all of that is because of networking and community building. In the world of toy collecting, mainly G.I. Joe collecting, I did this alone for a very long time. I have actually collected G.I. Joe stuff since I was a kid. I started being what I considered to be a serious collector at around age 10 to 13. That's around the time that I started to obtain G.I. Joe items for the purpose of actually collecting them, to not open and to display in the package, and the packaging became important to me. And I know that's not important to a lot of people. A lot of people like to collect loose, and that's perfectly fine as well. But I did this alone for a very long time. And I ended up finding a couple of G.I. Joe groups on Facebook and got involved in the communities from there. And some of the friends that I have made along the way are what makes collecting fun for me. The friends that I've made and the YouTube channel has really invigorated my collecting. And I would go as far as to say that the people that I've connected with through the channel, through Facebook groups, through the couple of toy shows that I go to, they're really the driving force behind me collecting. It's not so much the figures or obtaining those specific items. It's the people. And one of the things that I look at is the fact that with a lot of these endeavors, especially with collecting, the journey is more important than the destination in most cases. There may be this hard to get figure or set or whatever that you want for your collection, and it might be relatively easy to just get on eBay and spend the money and have it shipped to your house and have zero effort to it. Something you've wanted for years. You get online, you buy it, and have it shipped to your house, and like, okay, well, I've got it. That's all there is to that one now. If you do that through a community, it seems to mean a lot more. Plus, you get in there and engage with other people and have conversations and whatnot. And yes, some of those conversations can end up being very negative and can cause a lot of chaos or drama, and you just have to steer clear of some of that stuff. A lot of people talk about the G.I. Joe Classified series and how hard it is to obtain these figures, especially the exclusives. So the targets in my area, over the course of the first wave of Cobra Island exclusives and the second wave of Cobra Island exclusives, we don't get anything. We don't get much of anything, if we do at all. There's only been a couple of instances with the couple of targets that are close to me where they've actually gotten figures. One of those was on the day of release, and the day of release was January 1st for the second wave. And we tracked it on Pop Finder and all that, and we ended up lining up out in front of the store an hour before they opened for 6 Vipers. That's what the store got. They got a case of 6 Vipers. And we all went back single file to electronics, and they had 4. Even though the manager at the door told us they had 6, they only had 4 figures at electronics. And the guy back there is like, oh, well, they must have been pulled for an online order. And all I can think is, how did they get pulled for an online order? So we ended up the first people in line. I was one of the first people in line. We all got ours. And, we had a couple guys left over who didn't get them that had stood out in front for an hour. And we immediately went to the manager that had talked to us at the beginning of the morning. And we explained the situation to him. And he basically was like, oh, no, I'm not going to have that. That can't happen. So he goes back, pulls those 2 figures from wherever they had put them for the online orders, and made sure that the other 2 people that had been waiting in line for an hour got them instead of them being pulled for an online order. Now, we don't know 100% for sure if they were pulled for an online order or whatever. We won't get too much into that, or the shady practices of Target or whatever. But because we had all hung outside the store and become acquainted, the 4 of us who got theirs were considerate enough to make an effort to get the other 2 for the other people standing out there. So everybody that was there got one of the figures. Whenever Wave 1 first came out, a group of us, a group of friends that I made, and we run one of these groups together, and we actually got to meet in person for the first time last summer. When Wave 1 came out, we were all helping each other to obtain the figures that we needed. We only got a few of the figures here, and other places only got a few of the figures, and we were making sure that we all had what we needed for our collections. It's because we're friends. It's not because we were making money off of each other. It's because we had developed a friendship. We had networked. We had built a community together. And that's what we continue to do. I know that my experiences are not going to be the same as everyone else's. Not everyone lives in an area where they can network with real life people and whatnot, and you don't have to. You can do that through Facebook, through Instagram, through other social media forums. Facebook, in my opinion, is one of the best. There's a lot of GI Joe groups and a lot of people who are more than willing to help each other out. There's also the fair share of people looking to make a profit. People who either are or are not collectors who, I mean, they really just want to make a buck off you. Myself, for instance, sometimes I will hook people up at cost or whatever, especially since I'm doing the retail thing now. I'm going to sell to people at cost for things that I actually sell as retail. I don't get the exclusives or anything like that to resell. I've sold a few to people and use them for trade fodder and whatnot. There are people who use this to further their own collections, be it G.I. Joe or whatever other line it is that they collect. If there's something they can make a profit on, they're going to sell it to help fund collecting of whatever it is they collect. The bottom line here is to really tell you that if you want to have a better collecting experience, if you don't want to be one of the people sitting back and complaining about what you perceivably can't get, make friends, build a community, network with people. That's how you get what you want. Or get on eBay and spend the money to get it. That if you want to stay alone in the whole collecting thing, or if you don't want to, like if you're impatient and you got to have it yesterday, get on eBay and spend the money for it. And that's, for some people, that's not the preferred route. That's no longer the preferred route for me. I would much rather come across things through the friends that I've made and through the groups that I've joined and the communities that I'm part of. And you can't go into it immediately expecting somebody to give you a handout or somebody to hook you up for no reason other than, hey, I'm here, hook me up with something cool. You have to build those relationships. So if you would like to become part of those communities, if you're not already, in the description section for this video, I'm going to link several Facebook groups that I admin either with myself or other friends or whatever, groups where you can go in and become a part of this community. You can make friends there. The Yooo Joe Den, the action media reviews group for this channel, which mainly it's G.I. Joe stuff and me selling a few things or putting a few things up that I have coming for sale, but whatever. The Transformers War for Cybertron collectors group that I made specifically for the War for Cybertron figures. Those are the only Transformers that I really collect or that I'm really into, so I made a group for it and a bunch of people joined. You are welcome to join this group as well. Just make sure that your content is War for Cybertron related. I'm going to link the G.I. Joe Mint on Card Only Buy Sell Trade group. That is a group that I ended up with where we do nothing but mint on card figures. G.I. Joe stuff, mint on card. And it has to be G.I. Joe and it has to be factory sealed. And let's see, what else do I have to link? There's those, it's mainly those four groups. So feel free to join the Yooo Joe Den or War for Cybertron collectors, the Mint on Card Buy and Sell, and the group for the YouTube channel. Get in there, make friends, and start networking with people. And this will make the journey a lot more enjoyable. The journey to acquiring these things that you want, these action figures, and some of them may be hard to get, but these are good places to become a part of a community and to network with a lot of great people. I hope that I didn't ramble too much in this video. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for more stuff coming at you. And Yooo Joe!